Hello and welcome back to another Good Game Nation video where we bring you everything TCG. My name is Sam and I'm back with another One Piece video. Woo, One Piece. And we're here with a Meta Wednesday. I don't know what day this is dropping. I think it's dropping Wednesday. Meta Monday is where we bring you tournament result decks and we talk about our thoughts, tech we like, cards we want to try, and let's get right into it. We have a tweet here from N, always like as the @ and they did a Thailand One Piece flagship, a 32-player tournament, and they posted the top 4. And we're gonna get right into the 4 decks. The top 4, the first of the top 4 decks is going to be a blue Purple Croc. All the decks are going to be down listed below, as well as the original tweet itself. The accounts of the deck will be more magnified as well if you are interested in that. But this is the deck. Things that immediately jump out is a blue and purple croc. Blue and purple croc is a deck we've probably only covered 2 or 3 times maybe in this series. It's probably one of the least covered leaders next to King, I think. And the reason for that is probably due to the aggressiveness of the meta. Croc definitely tends to do a little better in a slower meta and slower games that are a little more drawn out. Croc will out-resource you. And we see that immediately in the amount of extra cards, event cards in this deck. Croc's effect is if you have 4 or less cards, you will draw a card if you haven't played, when you played event card. And there are 17 in this deck. There are some interesting ones at the least. We have the Lion's Threat was probably the first one that drops out. I had to read it. I didn't know it off the top of my head. It KOs one card, 5 or less from your opponent at -2 Dawn for 3 Dawn. The reason I didn't know this card is because purple innately has a lot of destruction. When you play purple, you have King, Kaido, and that right there is enough destruction to really get you by to win the game. Obviously, with Crocodile, you don't have the access to that because they do say Beast Pirate Leader. So we had to find more creative ways to remove things from the board. That's why we see the Lion's Threat. That's why we see a couple Sobbles as well. I like that tech. That's really it's really interesting tech. Same thing with Sheep's Horde. You can use Sheep Horde to effectively deal with more of the peskier characters. So this is really interesting tech. Immediately, I see Douglas Bullet. Seeing Douglas Bullet as the main attacker for this deck makes a ton of sense. I think it's the first time that we've seen this combo on this series, and hopefully we see more of it. I think Purple lacked that. I think people were playing Dofi and Mihawk, which is an effective pair, but Douglas is also an effective tool at removing strong pieces as well, which is another thing that Blue and Purple Croc lacks. So this is a nice combination of damage and clearing, and Douglas Bullet definitely brings that to the table. And the reason and the strongest card for this Croc leader, and probably one of the biggest reasons we play it, is definitely Miss Sunday. If you play Croc, please play Miss Sunday. She's an amazing card. She adds any event card from your trash to your hand. So we play a lot of 2-drops, a lot of 2 counts, so we have a lot of options, and Miss Sunday lets you further carry that concept at selecting whatever utility or defensive option you need through your event cards. Very effective, very strong combo. Something else that we're seeing a lot is more Utas. Utas have been more constant in purple. Uta's a very strong card, so the faster you have access to the film cards, the more I recommend in your purple counts, in your purple decks, play the Uta. Very, very good card. Very exciting deck. I love that they shared it. I love seeing Ultimo Order as well. Didn't talk about it, but a card I love in Blue and Purple Croc. Yeah, very exciting. I'm happy we saw it. The next deck is going to be a Zoro list. This Zoro list, again, took top 4. And the immediate thing is a lot of event cards. If you told me this was a Zoro and not a blue and purple Croc with the amount of event cards, I wouldn't have been shocked. And again, we're running a lot of small counts, again, for options. These are all suitable and strong event cards. I think it's very interesting to see Saboti again. I think we saw this very early in the meta, and it's slowly coming back. Very strong card. A lot of your targets in this whole deck, except Shanks, hits with this. And Zoro having these extra character cards really makes them offensively strong. a lot of 4Ks, a lot of 3Ks, and Zoro makes them just slightly stronger, gives them more offensive power. So I like the Sabodiad. Again, a lot of 2 counts. The Janbei's making a comeback. Radical Beam's a card we've been seeing comfortably at 4, but with 2 round tables as well, as long as 4 jet pistols, which has been the new staple. Definitely has been 4 jet pistols. Usually paired with Otama. We don't see Otama on this list, so I wonder what... I'm pretty sure that's why the round table's here as well. The round table to remove the Kidd. Kidd is probably the biggest pain in the neck for this deck, so having an effective answer is very important. Another interesting card for this tournament has to be this Luffy. The other tournaments we saw with the Zoro deck wasn't really featuring this card. We were seeing the promo one start to rise with the 2K counter. But this card has been effectively been cleared by the leader in most cases. The leader is the easiest way to deal with this creature or this character card, so it's very interesting seeing this list again, and I wonder how effective it was in this tournament. And if matchups would have went correctly and this deck would have played the blue and purple Crocodile, this Usopp would have eaten it. This Usopp is the perfect counter for that deck, and I love seeing it here. It makes me wonder what the rest of the tournament looked like if there was a lot of blue or if there was a lot of purple. This Usopp would have been a very, very strong counter to that. And it's probably what took the place for the Otama, I imagine, in the testing. Very exciting deck. I think the rush speaks for itself. It's been very strong in these early tournaments, and will probably continue to be strong. If you haven't tried the Jet Pistol, I recommend trying it. In testing, it's been incredibly strong, especially with the combo of Otama. Yes, nice. And here's the Otama list. Another Zoro, this one took second. And the big differences here have to be the Otama and the Uta. Everything else is more cleaned up and very similar. But the Uta is a card that we have not seen. I think this is the first time we're going to cover it, at least at a 4 count. It returns 1 character card other than Uta with a cost of 3 or less from the trash to your hand. And this is everything except Uta, the starter Luffy, and Shanks. Uta has the ability to add all of them. You can recycle choppers if you need defensive pressure, and if you need offensive push, you could get a recently killed Zoro or even a Sanji from the discard. I think this Uta definitely can keep applying the pressure, especially since she's 4K. When you attach 1 Dawn to Zoro, she'll immediately make this Uta a 5K, making her an offensive threat. This was one of the big drawbacks early from Uta, and it was hard to find out or figure out what to do with Uta because she lacked that offensive pressure. But here in the Zoro list, she definitely has a home, and it obviously did well. So here at second place. This list is incredibly strong. I like seeing the Jet Pistol at 4. The Zoro at 4, especially with the Uta, is a nice combo as well. And the 1 Shanks. I think this is this red specifically is definitely going to be a standard going forward, and definitely one that I'm excited to try. I like a lot of these counts, definitely. And the last list and the winner, which probably shouldn't be too shocked to everyone, has been the Menace Kid himself. But this list is very interesting, and I want to get into it. We've been messing with the Wano ad for Kidd because when you just do supernovas, the counts get weird and you're playing cards that might not be the most optimal, but it fits the theme, so you run it. So we're trying to figure out if it's possible to run the Wano, and it obviously worked because we are here at first place. Cards like Momo, Raizo, Ezo, and Okiku. These cards are very strong in the Odin deck and will be in the Kinemon deck as well when that gets dropped. And the fact that it worked in this list is amazing. It's not a ton of targets. It's only, 11? Yeah, it's not a lot of targets, and it probably misses a lot, I would imagine. So it must have been scary to run. It must have worked well in testing. Raizo, especially with the combo of this Eustass Kid, is incredibly effective at drawing cards and can effectively just win you the game if your opponent can't deal with the Raizo. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to make the Wano work, and it definitely obviously worked for this gentleman. Okiku, again, is a very effective card at removing very annoying tools, which Kidd lacked. So this is a nice little combo of both worlds. It's definitely one of the more exciting Kidd decks that we saw as well. The most interesting card here has to be the Beppo. Beppo is effectively just a 2K counter in this deck. I wonder if the Waterfall Paradise would have been slightly more effective. Bepo has 0 targets, so it's just a 2K counter or a 4-drop 4K. So Paradise Waterfall is probably the card that I'm wondering would have been a better fill. But nonetheless, it's nice to see Bepo make a list. That's probably the part that makes me the happiest. And again, with the combo of Momo as well, having another 1-drop for Killer on top of that creates more chances to draw off his effect. More draw for Kidd is not what you want. Very exciting list. Again, another one that I'm interested to try. I wonder in my head if he missed the 4-drop Drake. The 4-drop Drake has been very relentless in carrying this deck. And not seeing it here is a nice sight that Kidd can be successful without that card. So, wonderful list. Definitely one of the cooler lists we've seen, and one, again, I am very excited to try. And that'll do it for Wednesday. Meta Wednesday. It might be Meta Wednesday, guys. Thank you so much. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the decks. Some of the tech. What did you think of the round table again? The round table's making a little comeback. Definitely for that Kidd matchup. I really like the Uta from the red deck. That's a nice, seems like a perfect fit for the Zoro deck. So hopefully we keep seeing that as a trend. And again, the green with the Wano pieces looked like a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of more interesting cards in that deck now that it won a big tournament. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.